In March of 2025, Mattel Creations announced the release of a Mattel Creations exclusive figure, Vultak. And for some of you, that might result in you scratching your head and saying, who is Vultak? That's an interesting question. Let's take a look at it in this episode of Villain Obscura, a series dedicated to obscure, mostly forgotten villains. The world of Etheria was filled with many wonders and the heroes of the Great Rebellion, led by She-Ra, Princess of Power. But while there were wonders and great heroes, there were also evils and terrible villains. Among these was the Horde's evil flying zookeeper, Vultak. Vultak's cartoon look was designed by character artists Larry Eichelberry and Herb Hazelton. Vultak has the ability to fly and can transform into a shadow. He has a vulture-like design and look, wearing Horde armor and the furry shorts we've all come to expect with Masters of the Universe characters. Now, you may have caught that I said Vultak's cartoon look, and there's a reason for that. There's a fairly strong argument that the character we know as Vultak was considered for the Masters of the Universe toy line, and likely even first appeared as a sketch in Mattel's offices. If we look at sketches for the various Horde members dated July of 1984, we'll see a pattern beginning to emerge. The sketch of Multibot is dated July 6, 1984. This is the version Filmation based the cartoon Multibot on. Also on July 6, we see the sketch of Octavia, then called Octopus Woman, who would be rather radically redesigned by the time she arrived on the Filmation show. The Acrobat concept is dated July 7, 1984. He would later go on to be in an episode of Princess of Power, despite his figure never making it into toy aisles. This Tongue Lasher sketch is dated July 12, 1984. This is a sketch of the Mount who would become Mantisaur when he hit toy shelves in 1986. But here we see a far more insectoid look, the one that would appear in the Princess of Power series. This is dated July 13th. Here are our final sketches for Snout Spout, dated July 13th, 1984. Snout Spout would appear on the She-Ra series along with the characters we've gone over previously, but he would be a member of the Great Rebellion. It seems really evident that early July of 1984 was heavy with development for characters who would appear in the Princess of Power cartoon, as well as the Masters of the Universe toy line. So, let's take a look at one last concept from this time frame. Dated July 8, 1984, we have this design sketched by Ted Mayer of a vulture-like character. He's red and has yellow feet and purple wings, but he's definitely got a vulture theme. Based on the sketch date and other characters designed at the same time and their roles and redesigns, there's a pretty strong argument for this being the original concept for Vultak. The original storyboards for the episode he appeared in even featured a far more bird-like creature, more in line with the sketch than the character who would appear on the show. Vultak would first appear in episode 38, Zoo's Story. This story was by Mike Chain, teleplay by Mike Chain, Larry DiTillo, and Francis Moss. It was directed by Lou Casivas. Vultak was voiced by George DeCenzio, who was also the voice of Hordak and Acrobat, who I covered in a previous episode of Villain Obscura. For more on George DeCenzio and his career, and all about Acrobat, you can find a link to that video at the end of this video, or in the Villain Obscura playlist I've put together. The episode starts with Bo, Adora, Arrow, and Cal out investigating the disappearance of rare animals in Freedom Forest. They witness a dark shadow at the same time a crimson cracklebird disappears, and decide to investigate further. They come across a Horde patrol. Bo and Arrow go to challenge them, and Adora transforms into She-Ra to assist Bo. Together, they handily defeat the Horde patrol, discovering they were transporting cages. A defeated Mantenna reveals to Bo and She-Ra that they were delivering cages to Outpost 6. Meanwhile, Cal encounters Cowla, a female of his species. Cal is one of the last of his kind, so he is intrigued. While he and Cowla flirt, they are captured by the same shadow that captured the Crimson Cracklebird. She-Ra and Bo discover some of Cal's feathers and continue to Outpost 6, sure that this is where the mystery of the missing animals and Cal will be solved. When Cal and Kala come to, they're captives of Vultak, who reveals himself to be Hordak's zookeeper. Vultak takes them both to the zoo, where he explains escape is impossible. The zoo is protected by a force field, with the front gate the only way in or out, and with Vultak's robot Zootrons keeping guard. She-Ra and Bo discover the secret of the disappearing animals after questioning Horde troopers and go to Hordak's zoo to free the animals and Cal. They arrive just as Cal and Kala's escape attempt fails. She-Ra single-handedly defeats the Zootrons, and when Vultak attempts to escape, Bo uses a boomerang arrow to stop him. With Vultak defeated, She-Ra, Bo, and Cal free the animals. Cal and Kala decide to spend more time together getting to know each other, and She-Ra destroys all the cages, save one, the one she's left Vultak imprisoned in. This would be Vultak's single appearance in Season 1, and it would be the only one in which he had a starring role. He would return in the Season 2 episode Above It All, but this wouldn't be anything more than a cameo. Due to his popularity, writer Robert Lamb would pitch an episode where He-Man and Stratos fought against Vultak, but this episode never came to be, likely due to the cancellation of the Princess of Power series during Season 2. After the Princess of Power cartoon ended, Vultak faded into obscurity, all but forgotten by everyone but the most ardent fans of the Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power universe. In 2008, Mattel introduced Masters of the Universe Classics, a subscription-based collector's toy line specifically geared toward adult collectors. In 2016, Vultak is reintroduced into the world of He-Man and She-Ra, and finally given an action figure, which would arrive for subscribers and be available for sale through the Mattel Collector website in May of 2016. Being the Classics was designed with the adult toy collector in mind, Vultak's backstory was expanded upon and became slightly darker. Referred to as the sadistic keeper of the Horde menagerie, he was designated as Stratos' mortal enemy, a status he achieved after slaying many avians at the Battle of Zarkorin. He would go on to search for the components of the Sunbird, which drew from a vintage Masters of the Universe story, in his quest to destroy Stratos' kingdom, Avion. In 2012, DC Comics would launch an ongoing Masters of the Universe series. Through the course of this, Vultak would reappear during a storyline about the Horde invasion of Eternia. In a flashback, he would fail to kidnap Prince Randor, being defeated by Prince Keldor. He would later be defeated in battle against She-Ra and Stratos, with Stratos knocking him from the sky. He would disappear from the lore and toy line again until Vultak was shown at San Diego Comic-Con in 2024. In mid-March 2025, a release date of March 24th, 2025 was revealed. Vultak would be a release through the Mattel Creations website. Did you buy Vultak in Classics, or more recently in the 5.5 Origin Scale cartoon collection? Or is this villain too deep of a cut and too obscure of a villain to grace your toy shelf? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like. And if you are curious about more obscure and mostly forgotten villains, you should subscribe and set the notifications. 2025 is the 40th anniversary of She-Ra, Princess of Power, and in the coming weeks and months, I will be doing more videos covering the rarest and most obscure of She-Ra's various foes. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. She-Ra!